Hey guys, I'm your host, David Powell, and you're listening to Curiously Veg Radio. Hey guys, welcome to episode 38 of Curiously Veg Radio. As I'm sure most of you returning listeners know, but maybe if you're new, you're starting out your vegan journey, new and you just found us, Curiously Veg is a movement which will open a dialogue between vegan, vegetarian, plant-based, and non-plant-based people alike, where we educate, not intimidate. Say it with me if you know it. Oh yeah! If you would like to be a guest on the show or a guest host, I love to have someone on the show to kind of go back and forth with, and to kind of talk about a topic that we both really want to dig into. Please shoot me an email at curiouslyveg@gmail.com. You can also go to the website curiouslyvegradio.com and click on contact, fill out the form, and shoot me a message. I'd love to have you on as a guest. Love to have you on as a guest host. You can also contact us through social media. Please like, follow, star, horseshoe, balloon, everything on social media. We'd love to have more followers, and we can stay in contact with you. And as always, if it's the first time you're just checking us out, hit the subscribe button. You can find we should be on every podcatcher of your choice. iTunes. I know we're on Stitcher. We're on Pocket Cast, everywhere. And please give us a rating on iTunes. It helps people find us, and also lets me know how well I'm doing. And it's a little spiel at the beginning to get everyone up to speed, and let everyone know where you can find us, and continue to listen to all of this fantastic content. So, 2018 is upon us. That's not even upon us; it's here. It is. As you listen to this, it is like day 2. It is like on. We were in the thick of it. Sometimes this time of year, I'll talk about possible New Year's resolutions, what I'm thinking about doing. Would love to hear yours. And of course, if you have New Year's resolutions, maybe going vegan is your New Year's resolution, shoot me an email. Would love to know about it, how I can help out if possible. Maybe give you some inspiration, or give me some information. Maybe something you've heard on the show that I know something about that you would like more information on to help you further your New Year's resolution. For those who are going vegan, or maybe you're a regular listener who has a family member or friend who's looking to go vegan, tonight we're going to talk about what I'm kind of calling the new vegan pitfalls. The things that, as a new vegan, you tend to run up against. Not only that, a lot of things that can make you question and go back and kind of like, well, maybe this isn't for me, or kind of make you stumble. We all have things that come in front of us when we're working on goals, working on life changes, that can hold us back, that can make us question, that can make us really step back and maybe even lose track and lose a little bit of that guidance we had. So I want to talk about a few pitfalls today, and I might go into more New Year's resolution stuff maybe later. I'm still working mine out if I want to do any this year and what those are. So I think the first thing that I know I still hear from time to time, even though I've been vegan for almost 6 years now, is listening to the haters. You're going to get people who are going to make comments as someone who's starting out or been a vegan for a short amount of time, who generally just because they don't understand, and they'll make comments, and usually it's out of not knowing. And you do have the people who know and just probably don't care, and to some point you're going to have to brush them off. But one thing to bear in mind when you're dealing with someone who is making comments, asking generally obnoxious questions, that it's one of those like things we all hear, but it's important to recognize that the quote haters most likely either A, don't fully understand, and it's a absolutely great time to educate someone politely, and we'll talk about how to come off when talking to people that maybe don't fully understand, or maybe not seeing eye to eye with you a little bit. But it's an opportunity to educate, and it's an opportunity to show that a lot of vegans, we tend to come off as overly aggressive, or very very defensive, and it's a chance to kind of brush them off and show that you're not getting under their, and you're not going to get them getting under your skin and derail you from seeking a life of good health, good world health, and a life of compassion. And sometimes it's, like I said, it's best to ignore people who do that. There are people who are generally concerned, who kind of pick with you. My dad picks with me sometimes, and he doesn't mean anything by it. I know him. I know what he means by it. He's usually just joking with me, or it's just a picking, just trying to like get something, get me to rile up. And it's comes from generally a fun place, and so something with that I usually tend to ignore, or I when I kill it with kindness, and I get like really concerned to talk about their own diet, their own personal health, and making sure that they're okay, and it kind of changes the direction of the conversation, usually leading them to kind of end it, because now they're getting with you're flipping it on them, where you're actually questioning them as opposed to them questioning you, and they may not feel as comfortable, and they may kind of just end it there, or they actually may be open to talking, which is fantastic. It's opportunity to say, like, talking about, like, well, okay, well, you were having problems, you're trying to work out and get better, and you're having, like breathing issues. How is that going for you? And it changes the conversation away from something that obviously they're either not going to want to talk about, or B, you have the opportunity to talk about how a plant-based diet will help them with their own health, their own weight loss, and the issues that they may be having. So something else that I hear from people starting out. My girlfriend is vegetarian. She's eating a lot more vegan now, and she was vegan for a while, and she had some issues with it. And actually, this one point here is what made her kind of come back on it. Was it's too tough or it's too restrictive. Something to keep in mind when you're feeling like, okay, this is getting too much. I just keeping track of everything, and like, what do I gotta do and what I can and can't eat, and reading labels, that can be very, very overwhelming if you're new to a plant-based diet or a vegan lifestyle. And I find for most people and for myself, it's when I was starting out, keep in mind why you're transitioning, whether it be your health, the planet, or the welfare of animals and other beings on this planet, even your fellow man, or a combination. Keeping your eye on the ball, as it were, and why you're doing something is going to keep you motivated. And this is true for other aspects of life. If you do have a new resolution to write a book, or keep track of your to-do list and be more organized, keeping your eye on the ball and why you're doing something will always help you stay motivated, even when you're questioning or you're getting worn out or tired from something. And something to keep in mind, and when you're like, oh, what if, it's just this is so tough, and I just want to go out with friends and do this, and what if I just have like, something with dairy or eggs in it and things like that? It's just not a big deal. Something that it's a kind of paraphrasing, but something that I heard not too long ago that I really, really liked was when you realize that animal parts and secretions aren't yours, thinking them as restrictive isn't an issue, since they aren't food to begin with. It's not restrictive. Taking eggs and dairy and things out of chicken and all this stuff out of your diet isn't restrictive, because it's not food. I think that's something that I always tell people, that when they say it's restrictive, you're just taking all this stuff out. I'm like, well, I'm taking stuff out that wasn't food to begin with. To me, it's the equivalent of taking out plastic. That's not food. That's not something I should be eating anyway. It's just as good for me as eating these other things. And if anything, it gives you a tremendous opportunity to be adventurous. Find the fruits and vegetables you never had. One thing I want to go do with my girlfriend, who's a little bit kind of iffy on her. She's very picky. She has a texture problem. She's very picky. Go to a store. It may sound crazy, but it might be kind of fun. I'm weird, so it'd be kind of fun for me. But go to a store. Go to like a Kroger or a Publix or a Whole Foods, or whatever's near you. Your store you go to regularly. Walk around the produce aisle and kind of make a list, on your phone or on paper or anything, of like foods you do like, the fruits and vegetables you like, fruits and vegetables you may or may not like. Maybe you haven't tried them before, or maybe it's been a long time, and make a list of stuff you just do not like. Start working on that list. And what you'll find is that instead of this being restrictive, you'll find it gets more and more expansive. We all have like spinach and bell peppers, onions, things like that we've eaten. Maybe it's been a long time since you had Brussels sprouts, and maybe you hated them back in the day, but like, it's been like 4 years since I've even tried them. Put that on the maybe list. And then when you get a chance, look up a recipe. Brussels sprouts roasted with balsamic vinegar. Fantastic. Find a good recipe. Now I want Brussels sprouts. Find a good recipe of things you normally wouldn't eat or things you haven't had in a long time, and work that as an opportunity to expand your palate. And in doing so, you're going to find out how it's not restrictive. It's actually opening so many more doors for you. I mean, there's so many grains and stuff that I haven't had, and I walk around Kroger or Whole Foods. I'm like, what is that? It's there's one it's a Colmut. I'm gonna get an email because I'm saying that wrong. Please, actually email me. Let me know I'm saying it wrong. And I haven't had it yet. I want to try it. I have no idea what it is, and it looks really good. It's just a grain. So that's what again, almost 6 years of vegan. I'm still finding things I haven't had, and in doing so, it's expand my palate more and more and more. And the thing is, keep in mind is the web is your friend. When you feel something is, too restrictive, start looking at, I do this. I mean, I'll be in the store and I'm doing grocery shopping or figuring out what for dinner. Pop up my phone and I just search like, quick vegan dinner ideas or, baked tofu ideas. This is like different foods. I think I know I want tofu. I know I want tempeh or I want chickpeas tonight. And I'll find recipes online that'll kind of open that up for me, and then again open that door a little more, open a new window, something new to kind of climb through and really experience something new. Like I said, you'll find that it's not tough, it's not restrictive. If anything, it's a massive, massive opportunity to be adventurous with your palate and be kind to yourself and be kind to the planet and be kind to all living things, including the animals and the people on this planet around all of us. Another thing, something that I think we fall into, especially when you're first starting out, is being too aggressive. I found when I first started being a vegan, and when I see others, usually that aggressiveness is kind of coming from a place of anger I would call it anger of deception. Maybe you felt like you were kind of like deceived or lied to, or taken down the wrong path for most of your life, and you have this bit of like, oh my god, this makes me angry, and now I'm also angry that animals are being tortured and they're being killed, and angry we're doing to the planet, and and people are starving, and it really starts riling up. It's kind of like your eyes are opening for the first time, and you're seeing these things, and they make you angry, but they're angry from passion, which can be directed in a very positive way. It's important to remember not to be a hater to others. Whenever I talk to people, like, oh, I don't really go around with like a vegan flag. I was at my new job. I started not too long ago, and I didn't even talk about it really. I just brought my lunch. People say, oh, what's that? Oh, it's tofu with rice, whatever. And it wasn't until we actually had like a company party, I had to tell someone, hey, I'm on a vegan diet, and can we do something for that? Because they were taking orders and stuff. So the point that I'm making is it's understanding that not everyone follows what we're doing. I mean, not everyone may not understand it, and when you come off overly aggressive, those who don't understand, you're going to put that wall up, and if the wall's already there, you're going to fortify it. It's best to come off in a very understanding, very open, very in a place where people feel like they can approach you if they have questions. Because what I found, and I have a few friends of the show that either went vegan from talking or being around me, or they went vegetarian, vegan, things like that. And what I found is if I'm just talk to them, and I'm not like, do you know what you're eating? Do you know how bad that is? If I'm more open and don't do that and respond in that way, they're more inclined to ask me, what am I eating? Can I try that? And they're like, I'm thinking about going in that direction. Can you? What's some recipes? And you'd be surprised, just being very calm and open, even if you just have this anger pent up. Understanding that being open is going to make more people open up to you and be more understanding. And it's also very important, and we have this really crazy infighting with vegans. It's very understanding that not all vegans are on the same path. Some people can change overnight. Okay, there are a lot of vegans out there that believe that that's how you should do. That's how you should do. That's how you should do it. You should. Okay, this is wrong. Boom, I'm done. A lot of people can't do that. Just either from a financial thing. They have a lot of stuff in the house, or they have other people who they live with, who they have to cook for, or buy things for. So it's you have to be understanding, even with dealing with vegans, that someone like, well, I'm trying to be vegan, but I'm vegetarian right now, or like I'm vegan, but I'm pescatarian, or I'm flexitarian. I'm trying to work my way there. Support them. It's important when you meet someone who's trying to enter the group, you're supporting them on their journey to entering and to finding that more ethical path. Okay, you recognize when others make ethical choices is extremely important. That's something that my girlfriend and I talk about. She's making strides and trying to do things to be better and make better choices. And she goes, you're not recognizing when I try, and that's wrong. I should be doing that. It's something that we should all do. If you notice someone consciously purchases a pair of non-leather shoes when they could on leather. It's like, are those non-leather? Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. You did that. Really make sure we're supporting others who are making choices against what they normally would do. And that's something that we miss within our own community, and also helping others, support others in their decisions. Again, this goes back to positive direction in making sure that we're supporting those who are around us, who are entering it, and also not being aggressive to those who don't understand, so they're more inclined to want to understand. And as I said, with this angry face, it's very easy to be pissed for all, excuse the word, for, is that a bad one? I think it depends on who you are, maybe that would be. But I'm going to use it. I'm going to reach that PG-13. I think it's okay. But it's I understand why it's so easy for a lot of reasons I just gave. You're opening your eyes to a lot of atrocity and lying, to essentially lying that you've been handed to you for so long. But thing to understand is that once you've made that cross, is now you're the face of the movement. You're essentially representing the movement wherever you go. So it's important to be that diplomat with others. Important when when you go to a sushi place, you order vegan sushi. Say, and everyone at the table orders a non-vegan option. Don't get upset with them. And I understand why you would be upset. Everyone's going to ask you, is this okay? Do you mind? Don't make, well, yes, because you don't understand what this is doing to the ocean. It's very, very easy to do that. Also very, very important not to do that so directly. It's like, well, here's what I say, and maybe, it will help you. Somebody says, "Is it okay if I eat this? Does this bother you?" I was like, well, no, not really. It's, what you choose is what you choose. What I choose is what I choose. But would you like to try X, Y, and Z? You want to try the avocado roll, or like this, like ume shiso roll is super good. You want to try it? Those like a plum thing, and they go, "Wow, that's actually really good. I'll order that next time." And what you've done is you've successfully avoided a aggressive confrontation that would shut them down and put up a wall. You've opened their eyes to a cruelty-free option, and you've possibly replaced a sushi option on their plate they wouldn't have done previously. So it's all about being a diplomat for the movement, because once you make that adjustment, they're kind of looking at you and seeing how you're going to react. It's the you catch more flies with bee-free honey, I guess, in that sense. So I always try to crack myself up. Also, I have a visitor in the room. My girlfriend's cat, Phineas, a very beautiful, very sweet ginger kitty, is making his rounds around the office today, and hopefully he doesn't unplug anything or make too much of a racket. If you hear any papers rustling or something fall over, it's him being adventurous. So next thing that kind of stands out is it's important to have answers to common questions. You're going to get common questions. You're going to get the typical protein question. Where do you get your protein? Protein is, and so and this I kind of want to help you, kind of give you those answers. Again, if you're new vegan, this is helpful. If you're If you're just starting out, or even you haven't been for that long, having some of these answers will really, really help you. So first off, the vegan question, very simple. Protein isn't everything. A protein deficiency really isn't a concern unless you have a medical condition. You are you're in a position where you are not eating at all. Usually, if you're in a position where you're literally starving, or you have an eating disorder. Usually, those things are going to cause a protein problem. But as long as you're eating a balanced diet, meaning your nuts, a balanced vegan diet, nuts, beans, seeds, legumes, greens, all that. You're gonna beans, tomatoes, potatoes. You're gonna your protein is not a thing. A potato has protein in it, for crying out loud. Eat French fries. So protein's not an issue as long as you have a balanced diet. So just reassure friends and families, families. Maybe you have 3 or 4 families. You could if you're married. Maybe you have 2 families. Let them know that, hey, you have a balanced diet. You're making sure you're eating, all of, your vitamins, minerals. Protein's not a problem. Calcium becomes a concern for those who are worried about your overall health. Again, friends and families. I like families. Friends and families. Calcium may be concerned because now you're not drinking milk. Let them know that there's actually higher calcium in dark leafy greens, bell peppers, things like that. You actually can get better calcium. And dairy calcium actually the calcium dairy doesn't bind to your bones, so it actually leaks calcium from you, so it's actually more detrimental. And maybe that'll get them to start drinking some soy milk. Maybe get some cashew ice cream. Don't know why I talked in the word pattern. So supplements is another thing you get asked about every now and then. It's like, do you have to take a lot of supplements? Oh, I would be vegan, but you have to take so many supplements, don't you? Like, what supplements do you take? Get that a lot. Most vegans, it suggests you take a B12. We do tend to be lower in B12. It's not because of a vegan diet. It's because we wash our vegetables. Meat eaters are also low in B12. They get their B12 because it's literally injected into like cows and pigs. It's actually literally injection. You can go to a doctor and get B12 injection, or you get injected to the meat you're eating and you eat the meat. So, that's, if you're going to do one, the former is definitely your better option for a lot of reasons. But yeah, B12 is usually what we have to do. Again, everyone is low on B12. You take it because you wash your vegetables. Meat eaters typically don't have to take it because it's getting injected to the animals. You're literally, to put it simply, you're both getting supplements. It's just you're getting supplements directly to you, but they're eating something that's high in cholesterol, high in fat, and bad for them to get it. So you're actually better off getting it directly because you're not getting the bad dietary effects from the food you're eating anyway. Going out to dinner, you get that a lot. Like, what happens if we go out to dinner? Well, we can't go out, and we got what we got to do. Going out to dinner can be a little frustrating at first, to be honest. Learn to call ahead, to be honest with you. It's easier. Two things. First off, again, web is your friend. Pull the website up. Honestly, if you type in any restaurant and put vegan with it, a lot of times there's a site, whether it be PETA 2, Mercy for Animals, Compassion for Killing, Humane League, all these guys, they'll actually go to these restaurants and they'll list out all the stuff that you can do and how you can modify. You actually be surprised, most restaurants actually have a vegan menu on their site. It's fantastic. Web is your friend. You can also call ahead and say, hey, do you think that's vegan, doesn't have like dairy or eggs or anything like that in it? You can also, if you're going out to dinner, maybe you're at an Italian place and you want to make sure there's no dairy. A good vegan trick: tell them you have an egg and dairy allergy. Just tell them you're allergic, and they will go out of their way to make sure there's nothing in your meal that has dairy eggs in it. Because if you tell them that and they give it to you, they're afraid you'd sue them. So a good vegan trick is when you go somewhere to say, hey, I'm allergic to dairy and eggs and I don't eat meat. Is there, what would you suggest? In most places, we either have an option for you, have a way to modify, or they'll like make something for you. Like, well, we can do this and this, and we'll add, we can do this pasta with the, this olive oil, and we'll add these vegetables. Actually, I've had that done quite a few times where they didn't have an option, but they adjusted menu items to make it work. So holidays and parties is kind of the same thing. They'll ask, people will say, well, people will bring up when have a holiday party, and they're not sure what to do. Two things I do: either I say, well, I'll bring some stuff. I'll bring stuff we can all eat. In the end, it's a great way to be a diplomat, be the ambassador of bringing the vegan items and telling people, hey, check it out. This is good. This is actually a cheese dip. It's a vegan cheese dip. Check it out. Here's some chips with it. And I've done that so many times, and there's never anything left. Because it doesn't bloat. There's no dairy, so it doesn't bloat them. They don't feel as bad, so they just eat it and eat it and eat it. It's fantastic, and I'm happy because they're eating something that's cruelty free. And if it's a family member like your mother-in-law, grandmother, things like that, offer to send them recipes. Like, oh, I want to make cookies, but I don't know how to make them for you. Oh, okay, well, I'll send you a chocolate chip cookie recipe. Send them a recipe, and then family members, especially those who want to help and take care of you, are elated when they can make something for you and have you eat it, and you really, really enjoy it. My mom loved her to death. She, for our Christmas, because we didn't eat Christmas dinner there. It was logistical. We could have made some stuff. We just didn't really feel like it, and we actually wanted to go do Chinese food this Christmas. That was kind of fun. But my mom would have something with us. It was also just my birthday, so she made a vegan blueberry cheesecake. It was really, really good. Oh, she did an amazing job. And having her call me and tell me, oh, I got the cashews, and oh, I got to get the dates and what she's doing and all the work she's putting into it, and then eating it, and her just like, well, is it good? Is it good? Was just, that was a Christmas present to me. It was just like her elation in this. So, with holiday parties, offer to bring things, and if people want to make something for you, offer to send them recipes. It'll make your life easier. It'll make their life easier, and make them happy that they're doing something for you. Another common thing you're going to get a common question you're going to get is, you need X to live. You need milk to live. You need eggs to live. Oh, there he is. You hear him? That was Phineas. I probably could edit him out, but I think Phineas deserves an appearance. He's the only one here. He's the only one allowed in here. He's usually pretty calm. So it's and the thing is, like, there have been people who've been vegan for 20, 30 years. They're still walking around. You don't need any animal products to live. Every nutrient you need, every single, and I'm gonna say it again, every single vitamin, mineral, and nutrient you need, you can get from a plant-based diet. Fermented foods have B12. I get a lot of my stuff through fortified and through fermented foods. I get a lot of B12 that way. Vitamin, you can get it from all the plant sources. You do not need a single one to live. And especially if you've been vegan for a long time, it's always great. Someone's like, well, you need eggs to live. And I just can put my hands up and go, I've been alive so far for almost 6 years, and I'm fine. So, real quick, these things are the common questions I really want to point on. So we'll kind of run through them again real quick. Where do you get your protein? You need protein. Protein's found in everything. As long as you eat a balanced diet, you're going to get more than enough protein, literally more than enough. Calcium, the calcium in dairy is actually detrimental. It actually pulls calcium out of your bones. Calcium is found in leafy greens. You're getting leafy greens, bell peppers, things like that. You're going to get more calcium from there anyway. Supplements, everyone needs to supplement through multivitamins, B12. Everyone's lower. And so lower in B12, you need to take it because you wash your vegetables. Meat eaters get it through a supplement given to the cow instead. Going out to dinner, call ahead, search the web. Holiday parties, bring your own stuff or send recipes to the people who are hosting the parties. I'm sure they're more than happy to make something that you enjoy. And you need X to live. And you don't. I've been living for 6 years. Tori Washington's been living for. He's been vegan for I think 10 years. Patrick Boomian won 8 world records. He's doing fine. Vegan for like 7-8 years. You don't need it. Those are the ones you hear the most often. Write what I just said down. Have it in your back pocket, ready to go. You're gonna get the questions. If you can answer these questions fairly easily and fairly simply, people who are kind of curious or like unsure about it are gonna just say, "Okay, well, you're fine." These are the questions my mom gave me. She's like, "Well, what about this and this and this and this?" And I went, as long as I was able to answer them, she was okay. She was fine. She's like, "As long as you're eating, okay." She had no problem once I actually was able to answer the basic questions. Something that I probably hear more often and I hear this, a bit more often than the too restrictive, kind of goes hand in hand, is not eating enough. And people are like, well, I tried it, but I was always tired, and I just my stomach hurt all the time because I was hungry. So I was like, well, I'm probably craving chicken or something. So I ate a bunch of chicken and I felt better. Yeah, because you ate a lot of calories. It's high in calories. Of course you feel better. You're not eating. Something to remember is that a vegan diet is high in nutrients, low in calorie, right? So I did for those who have never been to the South, or maybe you're not, in the United States. And the Southern United States, we have a tradition on New Year's: black eyed peas, collard greens, and usually cornbread. I knew cornbread, but not always. Usually black eyed peas and collard greens. And I had mac and cheese and barbecue tofu in mine. So I can go into it a little, but the black eyed peas, are symbolize luck, and the collard greens symbolize money. And the more you eat, the more luck, and the more money you get for the year. I also tried the Amy's vegan mac and cheese. Really good. Kind of like I remember Kraft mac and cheese being. I still like Daya better. But it was pretty good. It was a good, if you want a quick box mac and cheese in a traditional kind of style, it's really, really good. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to get, like, see, I could talk about all day about food. New Year's resolution, maybe talk about food less. But again, vegan diet, high in nutrients, low in calories, where a animal-based diet is lower in nutrient and high in calorie. So if you're not eating enough, you're going to crave things that are higher in calorie. And you're going to think, well, I was on. It's simple. It's very simple to make the connection of I was not vegan, I was fine. I went vegan. Oh, now I'm tired and my stomach hurts and I don't have any energy and I'm feeling weak. Oh, well, the problem is I'm not eating meat now. The problem is you're not eating enough now. Okay, and I've always told people to increase your serving sizes, right? So if you would normally, let's say, that's grosses me out. Let's say normally you'd have like a chicken breast, a side salad, and sweet potato. Okay, what are you having now? Well, now you're probably having, let's say like a 3-bean salad. Like you have 3 beans, some onions, some broccoli in there, and a side salad and baked potato. Eat a bigger salad. Have a bigger helping of those beans. Those beans are going to be have higher in fiber, higher in protein, good fats. That's good. You're going to eat a little more, but the benefit is, against popular thoughts, a vegan diet really isn't that much more expensive. It's not that expensive at all, especially if you're eating mostly whole foods. It's actually the produce. There's a stand-up, Bill Burr, and he's like talking about, like, it's so easy, it's so hard, so to eat healthy. It's like, no, it's not. Go to the produce section. They're giving it away. Like, you want a thing of celery? $1. Go. Fine, 5 cents. Take it. It's the same thing. Eating whole foods. It's not more expensive. Okay, you're going to need to increase your serving sizes. To meet your caloric needs. It's also important to know your caloric needs. What I would suggest you do is you use an app. One that's used by a lot of people in fitness who are tracking their calories and fats, things like that, is one called MyFitnessPal. You can use it to track your workouts. Maybe that's also part of your New Year's resolutions. You're gonna eat vegan, be on a healthy diet, and you're gonna work out. 2 for 1 right there. There are other websites and other apps. Just track your calories and make sure you're getting a minimum the calories you need. There's websites where you can just go on and say like a minimum calorie calculator. It'll tell you how many calories you need to just maintain yourself on day to day. It's typically going to be around 1,200, 2,000 for the average person. See where you are and just make sure you're getting those calories throughout the day. And I think you'll find once you're actually like, oh my God, I've been eating 800 calories every day, and like I supposed to have 2,500. Yeah, that's why you feel like crap. You're not eating. So use an app for at least for a little bit, if not for long term. Track what you're eating, see how many calories you're getting, make sure you're getting around your minimum you're going to need for the day, and you're going to find you'll feel so much better, and you're not going to fall into that trap of just not eating enough. And in doing so, watch out for the junk food trap. it's again, your body's, if you're not eating enough, your body's going to be hungry. So things that are sugary and fattening are going to be be a lot more attractive. So it's easier to to eat like the vegan ice creams and the vegan candy bars and the cupcakes because it's going to make you feel full. Don't fall into that trap. I'm not saying you can't have a vegan cupcake or some cashew ice cream. I reserve my sweets for the weekend to avoid falling into that trap because I was a really, really, really big person, and I know that I am more susceptible to falling into that. So that's one thing that I do to keep myself in check, eating more whole foods and not falling into a trap of, like, I want something food and there's cupcakes in my face. So to avoid that, that's for me. I do that. I'll have a cupcake or a Revolution donut, vegan donut on the weekend. So watch your calories. Make sure you get your calories. Don't fall in the junk food trap. Hunger is not your body screaming to go back to eating meat. It's your body saying, we have not eaten enough. Snack bars are great. Keep the Cliff Bars. Cliff Bars. There's one that's there's notes that it has whey protein in it. That one's not vegan, but almost all the Cliff Bars, they're vegan, and most of them are almost all fully organic. People knock Cliff Bars, and I used to be like, oh, terrible. And I was like, the ingredients, I'm like, this is like 99% organic, and there's nothing really bad in here. It's got a couple fillers, but it's not really that bad. Nothing off like a Cliff Bar or a snack bar. Again, again, just disclosure, no one is sponsoring the show. These are just things that I do. But and especially when starting out, you will have cravings of sugar and fat and things that you think you need. And what you most likely need is one of two things: more calories, or you need to vary your diet a little more so you're getting the proper nutrients, because you might not be getting something enough of. Again, using an application like MyFitnessPal and a few other food apps, I'll put some in the show notes, different apps for iOS and Android to track what you're eating. You can see what you're deficient in, roughly, like, oh, I'm not getting in my dailies, nutrients of vitamin K or whatever. It's going to, doing that, well, at least it can guide you to where you should be, so you know what you need to be doing. And this isn't really a trap. I think it's just, something we need to tell everyone. Everyone's starting out this year, and, let's kind of back up for a little bit. I want to tell us, for whether you're a new vegan starting out, you've been vegan for a while, it's a new year. I think the biggest thing is don't be hard on yourself. Mistakes will happen, and learn from them and tackle the next thing. If you're newly to being vegan, or you're just starting out, or you're a few months in, or anything like that, you're going to screw up. You're likely going to accidentally eat something that I did. You're just going to go, oh, that had honey in it. If you're or if that had dairy and I didn't even read the label right. Or, oh, there's whey in that. Why is there milk? Famous vegan line. Everyone says, why is there milk in this? Your friend will offer you a chip, like it's a potato chip. Crunch. Let me see that bag. Oh, really? That's gonna happen. Don't be hard on yourself. Mistakes happen. Move on to the next thing. I want, if anything, I want you guys to really follow that this year, 2018. 2018, the year of not being hard on yourself. Again, mistakes will happen. Learn from them. Move forward. I'm going to run through these again. As you know, when I do these lists, I always kind of just knock them out again to kind of give you an overview of what we talked about. So you kind of have these in your back pocket. When you really need them to refresh your memory, or really when you're talking to others, dealing with other people. The first one, don't listen to the haters. People are going to have comments, they're going to have questions. Understand that most commonly they're not trying to be mean, they're just trying to play with you, and kind of pick around, anything like that. Especially if they're like a brother or your dad or something like that, who kind of picks with you anyway. And a lot of times, ignore them, or kill them with kindness by turning it back and asking about them, about their diet, not in an aggressive way, just making sure they're okay. And it may even make them end the conversation or open up, which both things are either end it so it ends not uncomfortable anymore, opens them up so maybe you can pull them in and make them understand where you're coming from. This is not too tough, and it's not too restrictive. Keep in mind why you're doing this, whether it's your health, the planet, or the animals, and use this as a chance to be adventurous, to expand your palate. Make a list of food. Go to the store, make a list of foods you haven't had in a long time or never had, and start expanding those palettes, and you'll really find it's an opportunity to open up your palette, open up your more doors for yourself, and try new things. You'll find it is the opposite of restrictive. It's much more open. Don't be too aggressive to the non-vegans. Don't be a hater to others. Do not hate on others, or you wish them not to hate on you, I guess is what we're saying here. Recognize others. Recognize when others make ethical choices. Pat them on the back when they choose tofu or tempeh, or they choose the vegan, or even the vegetarian option. I mean, that does a lot in and of itself. Nick from Mercy for Animals, had a great talk he gave when I worked there about how like just cutting out certain things does tremendous. Granted, it's not 100% the best, but even a small step makes a big difference, especially when it comes to ending suffering for all living things. I understand why it is. It's really easy to be aggressive, to be angry, to be a little pissed off. And understand that you're a face for the movement, and to be the ambassador, be the diplomat, catch more flies with bee-free honey, like I said, and be open and inviting to the discussion. And if people don't want to have it, it's easy to go, well, I'm happy to talk about it, but it's not really, I don't want to get everyone upset and kind of back away sometimes. Have answers to common questions. Where do you get your proteins and everything? What about calcium? Calcium is in leafy greens. You get a lot more, actually going to strengthen your bones as you're somebody who drinks milk. Everyone needs to take supplements. When you're going out to dinner, call ahead, check the web. Holidays and parties, very simple. Bring something or send somebody recipes so they can make something if that's what they want to do. And you don't need animal products to live. If somebody asks, well, you need eggs to live, you don't. People have been living for decades on a vegan diet with literally no problem. And finally, not eating enough. Please get your calories. If it helps, do a food journal. Write your calories down. Use an app is the easiest way to do it. Again, MyFitnessPal is a great one to see what your calories are. Maybe also there's other apps you can use to track your vitamins, minerals to the day with what you're eating to see if you're getting everything. Because you're feeling hungry, you're feeling tired, you're feeling run down, feeling weak. You're likely not getting enough calories, or maybe you're missing a mineral. Use an app. Don't fall into the junk food trap. You're not craving meat, but you will have cravings, typically if you're not eating enough, and especially not eating enough for the right stuff. So that's really what I want to start the year at, is welcome to the show if you're new. Welcome to a brand new year of the show if you've been here before. Don't be hard on yourself this year, especially if you're new and you're going to make mistakes. I'm here for you. I welcome everyone's emails. If you've emailed me recently, it was the holidays. I know we've been gone for a while, but that was between birthdays and visiting family and things like that. I had to take a few weeks off. I'm back now every 2 weeks again. I'm working on a few more interviews. Would love to have you on. Yes, you listening. You may think, who am I? Dude, you are an awesome, interesting person. Shoot me an email. Let's have you on as a guest host. Maybe we'll come up with a topic together we can talk about that you're passionate about. We'll talk about that. You don't have to, I don't have to have like an interview with you. We can just, we can chat about what's a dead zone and why we should be concerned about them. Boom, there's a show right there. Who was talking about that? Shoot me an email. We'll dig into it. Thank everyone who continues to listen to the show, supports the show through going to the website and CuriosityVegRadio.com, clicking support, and using buying merch and supporting the show by using all our affiliate programs. And I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to another awesome year of Curiosity Veg Radio. Talk with you guys. I got a few things in the work I don't want to talk about right now, but if they all come to fruition, I'm definitely going to share with everyone and give everything out there. I think I've talked your ears off long enough. Again, thank you everyone. Looking for an awesome 2018. Bye guys.